All right, guys, back for another project. As you know, here we try to turn junk into something pretty cool and then resell it. That's the purpose of this little segment that we do here. So I got these shadow boxes. Got them at a garage sale for like 10 cents. They're a little beat up. All the parts and components are here. But look at this. In terms of the stain, it's old-fashioned. It's crappy. We're going to try to turn this something cool, make it look kind of rustic, put something else inside of here other than the old dried up flowers that they had in here. So maybe turning it into something kind of rustic looking without spending a ton of time on it. That's part of the thing too, making something look cool without, spending how many hours to sand this down into the crevices and stuff. So we don't want to sand everything all together. Just want to sand some of it. I'll show you how we get it done. It is absolutely freezing out here today. I'm sure you can see my breath. It may look like nice and sunny, but it is cold. And so I'm going to bundle up a little bit and show you what's going on here. All right, first thing I'm going to do is literally I'm going to take a screwdriver and I'm going to just look at that. Oh no, the cringe, right? So what I want to do is just create, when I sand down, I want these grooves to already be in there. When I'm doing the sanding, I don't want to sand it and then have to put some grooves down. And I'm going to do that only on the outsides of the box, or the shadow box. Let me show you how this works out. All right, now that we got a box, check it out. So next step, I'm not going to do the insert here at all. I think I'm just going to see what happens. Maybe I'll just sand around the part that faces out, but let's take a look. I'll sand around a little bit on the parts that show. We're going to go with something kind of rough, I guess, to start things off, like a 60 grit. All right, check it out. You can see some areas got a little sanded more than others. Nothing to be too concerned about. Boy, it's freezing out here. Can't wait to get this done. And that's it, man. And then, the beauty of this kind of project too is that if it looks like shit, I just delete the video. You know what I mean? All right, guys. So it went from something like that to something like that. Check it out. Ta-da. Check it out. So it went from something like that to something like that. Let's go see what else we can do with it. All right, so we brought it back indoors. Thank God, it was freezing out there. So first thing we're gonna do, and in our making of free, that's the idea here, guys, is to be able to make stuff at like near nothing cost. And I usually find junk or break apart kids' toys, things of that nature, and turn them into something kind of cool. So wipe this down with a regular rag here. Both of these. Get some of the main dust off of it. Also got some of this like tacky cloth stuff. This stuff is pretty cool. Again, man, what you can find at garage sales or flea markets and stuff, it's just pretty remarkable. You just get junk. So this is nice. It just picks up the residual. This is like a tacky cloth. I think that's what it's called. If there's another name for it, tell me down in the comments. But basically, it just grabs the rest of the dust and kind of leaves it prime for any kind of stain. Now, as you see, there's a lot of this stain that didn't come off, right? The dark stuff, and I don't really care, because I'm going to transform it to where it just looks like you can't tell what was the original color. That's kind of like the idea here. And again, low cost stuff. This, you believe it or not, it just comes out nice. Let's do this. All right, you guys are in luck, because we have some premium barn red and some colonial maple number 223. Now, I always ask for people that I know if they got any leftover paint or stain to give it to me. These are currently what I have going right now. So we're going to mix a little bit of each and see what we get. All right. And whatever we get in here, I end up just putting a cap on this and this becomes another stain we use on another project. So let's see what barn red looks like. I imagine it's just going to be red. That might look pretty cool against this brown. You see that? Maybe it's a little too red. Yeah, it's pretty red. Check it out. Oh, that's kind of blood reddish right there. Let's go red in here first. That's a lot. And then let's water that down with a little Colonial Maple. Kind of made it a little less red, a little bit more brownish. Because this is kind of like doo-doo brown. I might throw a little more in there. Alright, I'm buttoning these up. That's more than enough stain for this time and the next. Alright, pumping this away because I do drop shit. Alright, I think nothing left to do here but to just throw some of the stain on here and see what happens. And I don't stain this stuff like traditionally, like you guys would think, you know. I'm just kind of like, some people put it on and let it wipe it off after a minute or two. I just kind of lather the whole thing up. It's going to start to turn whatever color that is. Now I'm beginning to think I should have left it just a darker red. But let's see. You know, I never look at this as a failure, no matter what it is. The way I look at it is deterioration never has an exact look. So let's just throw some of this red on here and see what happens. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it so far. Let's carry on. Let's let that sit on there for a minute. You can see it's just filling in those spots. Look at that. Pretty red all over. That's a cool looking red brown. Some of these sides look really good. And I haven't even wiped it off yet. So alright, I do one run like that. Right, I'm going back in for a second, just a quick pass. Just lather it on now. Now it just kind of applies a little thicker. Let's wipe this off here now. Now I should get all three colors here now. I like it, man. Look how cool that looks. Look at those colors. Tell me that ain't awesome. I don't even know what I'm going to put in there just yet, but we're going to put something in there. I just want to get the excess stain off right now. Alright guys, as we continue the transformation of the shadow box, let me show you what I got going on. This is what I did, and I don't have a video of this because we did this before, but this was just a plain shadow box. There was nothing in it, so we had painted these little sceneries on here. Nothing too great, but I got an idea for this one. Look, I got a little bent from the paint stuff, and I found this little toy boat. I think it's really pretty cool. I think I got this from like my mom's place or something. I don't know where she found this thing, but I cleaned it up real nice. Had to touch it up. A lot of the paint was a little bit falling out, but I just touched that up a tiny bit. And it looks pretty cool. So the idea is I'm going to have this sucker floating like that. Let's put it back together. We use a lot of Windex for these projects here. We are not sponsored by Windex. We are not sponsored by Windex. But we can be. Alright, this glass is looking pretty tight. You know what, I wear these rubber gloves because one, no fingerprints. I'm just like a fingerprint machine, you know what I mean? And secondly, I don't want to be putting these chemicals on my hands if I don't have to. I understand Windex is pretty bad, right? The ammonia, is that good for your skin? I don't know. Here we go, man. Alright guys, clean. Alright, and the rubber gloves don't really leave any fingerprints. Maybe a little. Glass first, I think. I mean, this thing holds the glass. I want to find out. I'm going to glue. I don't want this boat bouncing around, you know what I mean? So I'm going to glue this boat to the bottom of this, to this piece. As soon as I decide where it's going to go. Let's start with right here. This looks really cool, guys. Look at that. If you're a boat lover, sailing person, this is a really cool gift. Live near a lakefront or something? Check it out, guys. Alright, so I think I'm going to have this guy like right about, just about right there. I'm going to say just a smidge off of the end. Kind of centered in that little piece. So let's get this glue together. You know, I'm always overthinking things, so I want to create a little surface for the glue to kind of seep in and create, you know, like the tentacles. I noticed that this works great. I put it on like thresholds and stuff. Just make little holes in the ground or wherever it is you're drilling. Let me make sure to not make too many. Try not to smash it all up, you know, guys. Something like that. It really doesn't need a lot. And if there's going to be spillage, I'd rather the spill go towards the back because the picture is going to be looking this way. But I'll show you after it dries. Give it a nice, just a tiny squeeze. Not too crazy. I don't want to see the glue coming out in the front. Tiny bit coming out in the back. I know that that's sticking really good. Nothing here you see in the front. There she is. I'm looking down the middle. Make sure it's kind of straightish. That's it. Let it sit. See you in a couple hours. Alright guys, back at the shop, and the boat is dry. Check it out. It is not going anywhere. This is pretty cool. So let's get all this put together and see what we've made. So this goes in here now. I know that much. Make sure I got the right side here. Alright guys, check it out. Come on, you gotta admit that's pretty cool. Really like the way the red inside is showing. Matches the boat. Looks pretty rustic. Look at that. And that came out pretty cool. Check it out, man. Took some junk, an old beat up shadow box, and we turned it into that. Subscribe for more.